You take girls. You take guns. You wrap it all up in that amazing 90s anime aesthetic. What do you get? One of the coolest depictions of gunplay in anime ever. I bring you Gunsmith Cats. Gunsmith Cats is a true hidden gem of an anime, based off the manga with the same name, written by Kenichi Sonada, which ran from February of 1991 to June of 1997, lasting for 8 volumes. The anime would come in the middle of its run, back in 1995. The anime, however, took things in an entirely different direction, not adapting anything from the source material, but rather creating an anime original story that took up 3 parts. And thankfully, this is one of the better cases of an anime original story of an already existing manga, avoiding a lot of the pit traps that come with the territory. This 3-episode OVA sort of acts as a nice introduction to the series and primes you for the manga if you ever so desire to check it out. The story revolves around these 2 ladies, Riley Vincent, a firearms expert, and May Hopkins, an explosive maniac. Gun store owners by day, bounty hunters by night. It's set in California, which makes sense as to why they are able to own a gun shop. The 2 girls get into a lot of gun-related hijinks as they investigate and try to take down an illegal arms smuggling ring that could threaten the safety of all Americans. There's a bit of irony there, but I won't elaborate further. A big part of the series, as you'd figure, are the guns. And they are a lot of guns, and I mean a lot of guns. There is a heavy emphasis on the guns and gunfights. The guns are depicted in such great detail that even me, who isn't that into them and can barely tell them apart, is in awe of just how well they are presented. They feel real. This was thanks to the production staff who went crazy researching guns, even taking a trip to Chicago to visit gun shops and a police academy to get a feel of the weapons and portray them as accurately as possible. And you just gotta respect them for that, since you can't really get your hands on guns in Japan. And it's thanks to this accurate depiction of guns that the gunfights are able to feel incredibly real. Also, they weren't done in CGI, which is an added bonus. The anime has some of the best gunfights and gunplay I have ever seen in anime, probably because it's grounded in reality. There aren't any flashy or over-the-top gun fu, no magic circles involved, and no standing around shooting white streaks at each other. The gunfights are slower and a lot more tactical. Every shot and every action is made with intention because the slightest slip-up could lead to instant death. Think of it as some kind of murder puzzle. Yeah, they throw in a bit of anime bullshit, but nothing too outlandish, and it helps the action get more creative with the way it carries things out. And making it better is the sound design. Every gun sounds different. And loud. They sound really loud. The attention to detail is amazing here because you could have just gone with the generic sounding guns, but going the extra mile for this 3-episode OVA shows just how much dedication they had put into it. And they also go the extra mile in cars too. Heh, get it? The 2nd episode has a great car chase scene, and its sounds, accompanied with the jazzy music, are just a delight to experience. Even cooler is the fact that they used an actual Shelby Cobra GT500 for the sound. The more I learn about the production behind the anime, the more I get impressed. And this was in 1996. Okay, that's enough gushing about the production, time to take a look at the story itself. For 3 episodes, it's able to present you with a wholly original story, which means that fans of the manga as well as new people can all come together and get the same kind of entertainment from it. At heart, it's a detective story that comes with all the investigations and twists that you'd expect from the genre. However, it's a lot heavier on action. The story opens up with our 2 female leads, Riley and May, fresh off a bust of a wanted criminal known as a notorious drug mover. It's not long after that they are approached by a police officer. His name is Bill, and he's part of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives, the ATF for short, seeking their help to look deeper into the case they had just closed. Turns out the criminal they had just caught was part of a bigger circle involved in dealing with illegal arms. They aren't keen on helping him at first, but he pulls a little sneaky on them, inquiring about their gun license and housing a lot of illegal explosives that they don't have the proper papers for, promising to provide them with the proper documents once the case blows over. So they reluctantly join the case. That same night, they get intruders trying to steal their personal collection of guns, and they make quick work of them. Though to me, this moment feels very self-contained and doesn't affect the grander story. The only thing of note is how quickly the ATF pulls up to take in the intruders, which means that the girls have been under surveillance. So they continue their investigation. Riley squeezes some more information out of the guy she caught earlier, who's been released on bail by the way, and gets word about a warehouse holding a lot of smuggled arms. So rather than call the police, she goes in there solo, where she meets Bill again, and in a bid to prove her loyalty, they try to have her shoot him, but she pulls an Uno reverse and a huge action scene breaks out. There's gunshots flying everywhere. I said it earlier, but I'll say it again. This is some of the coolest gunplay I have ever seen. It's simple and tactical, yet effective in what it's trying to do. At some point, Riley fires a shotgun at the floor which ricochets to get some guys hiding behind a shelf, and it works. I don't know how that actually works. I mean, gun people in the comments, is this actually possible? And while you're there, consider hitting that subscribe button too, and maybe leave a like. It really helps the channel a lot. Many thanks. Anyway, they are able to take down the dudes and the police are able to clear up the place. However, the investigation isn't over yet as they found out the gun ring runs deeper than they initially thought. The first episode was pretty fun. It started out a bit on the slow side for me, but it eventually picked up at the halfway mark, and at that point, I had gotten hooked. The story isn't deep or complex, filled with layers upon layers of subtext and metaphors. It's a simple action flick through and through, wearing its inspiration of 80s American crime shows and action flicks like Knight Rider on its sleeve. A show a lot of you young people might have never heard of. Hell, the only reason I remember it is because it's part of a core memory of mine. So Gunsmith's cats ended up being kind of nostalgic for me. The next episode introduces our antagonist, Radonov, a former KGB agent who now works for whoever is actually running the arms deal. And she is an absolute badass. Expert in her craft of murderizing people, she walks into anywhere with insane confidence and an imposing aura, never caught lacking and never caught unstrapped. I don't know, there's something about her that I just find really cool. Is it the dummy mommy energy? It's the dummy mommy energy, isn't it? She serves as the guns blazing force of nature for our protagonist to overcome, even more so when she gets personal beef with Riley and May. After storming a police location to finish off the guy Riley had caught in the first episode, solo mind you, the one pulling the strings gets her to go after Riley and May next. The girls who, after following up on a few leads and doing a bit of investigating, have found themselves at a dock warehouse holding even more illegal arms. A brief action scene breaks out, Radonov shows up but gets intercepted by Bill, who's been tailing the girls ever since the first bust. But she's not going to leave empty-handed, no. In the midst of the confusion, she takes May hostage and Riley immediately follows after her. We are then treated to an expertly done chase scene, and this is where the animation really comes alive. One could say it's kicked into high gear. Wow, 2 car puns in one video? I am on a roll. I was marveled at how fluid everything was. It brings a certain quality and polish that you won't find in most modern anime today that up to use CGI for cars. This was all hand drawn and it shows the amazing effort that was put into this chase scene alone. Say what you want about older anime, but man, they just hit different sometimes, becoming a lot more of a spectacle compared to newer anime with their digital animation styles. Does this sound biased? Absolutely. So the chase scene ends with them getting May back and Radonov flying off a bridge in an explosion. But this won't be the last we hear of her. The girls make it back to their shop and they've been told by the police to lay low for now. But that seems unlikely since they've just got a call from the senator's office to show up at his campaign tomorrow to receive a fancy award, which seems all too perfectly timed to me. The senator's office is trying to use them and the whole illegal weapon smuggling debacle to push a new anti-gun campaign. I don't know too much about America and its politics, and frankly, I have no desire to, but limiting the ease of access to guns and who can get them is a good thing, right? Right? Well, surely the senator has good intentions about this. Huh, would you look at that? Foreshadowing. So while the girls are figuring out what to wear for the occasion tomorrow, Bill on the other end has figured out who exactly is pulling the strings. his very own boss and chief of the ATF, who's currently on his way to meet up with Radonov and flee the country, but she has other plans. The true mastermind behind the whole thing orders her to get rid of him. The true mastermind being the senator himself, Edward Haynes. It's the day of the campaign rally and things are looking pretty stressful for our girls. Right as they're about to collect their award on stage, Radonov comes in guns blazing. This was all set up by Haynes himself in an attempt to push his anti-gun laws. He wants stricter gun control so that he can then mark up the prices of his illegal guns and hold a huge chunk of the market. Riley and May go after Radonov this time, turning things into a game of hide and seek, but with guns. This time around, the action isn't filled to the brim with flashy gunplay. It's intense, slow and tactical, with a few explosions here and there. It'll have you at the edge of your seat watching just how creative these people get with trying to take the other down, and I was loving every bit of it. Thanks to May, they're able to pull off a well-timed explosion and save themselves. While this was all going on, Haynes was on the other side trying to flee during the commotion and gets exposed Disney Channel style by monologuing about his crimes and his master plan. Things are finally over for our girls. Radonov has been taken in and the girls are finally able to relax. But just then, not gonna lie, this scene went incredibly hard and was incredibly cathartic. And this is where the story ends. Riley looks up to the horizon, once again proving to herself how capable she is and how she's able to survive against whatever the world throws at her. Gunsmith Cats was a wild ride. It'll have you hooked from start to end without even realizing it. And it does such a great job giving you this self-contained story that feels satisfying to finish. It doesn't try to push you in the direction of reading the manga it's based off of, and it doesn't leave any threads open that get answered in the manga. It also doesn't have any character arcs that start or go unfinished. It's just a fun experience from beginning to end. One of my favorite things about it was the art. That 90s character design were just so good to look at, especially Riley's. Every time I saw her up close, I couldn't help but focus a bit too much on her handle looking hair and kept wondering what it would be like to just grab them. The designs are sleek with a bit of edge that really makes them distinct and cool to look at, though it fumbles when it comes to depicting black people. Pretty much every black person looked like this, reminding you that this was definitely a product of its time. But I guess it's easy to overlook as it doesn't bring down the anime, as it just has a lot of great parts. Gunsmith Cats is a true hidden gem, and I think all anime fans, especially lovers of retro anime, need to see this. It's quick, straight to the point, and has one of the coolest female leads I have ever seen. So this is something I can't recommend enough. And that's it for this video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it and want to see more content like this. As always, this has been your very favorite slice of bread. Stay toasty.